Okay, let's talk about one of the most common, super common, mistakes in English. But here's the great news. It is so easy to fix. Once you see the simple pattern behind it, you're gonna have this down for good.
So, have you ever said something like this? She didn't like the present. It sounds almost right, doesn't it? But there's this one tiny little thing that just gives it away as a mistake. Don't worry though, pretty much everyone makes this one.
So what is actually wrong here? Well, it all comes down to three little words that do a lot of work in English: do, does, and did. Let's break down exactly what's happening.
To fix this mistake forever, you really only need to remember one single thing. We're gonna call it the golden rule. And here it is, super simple. The golden rule is after you use do, does, or did, the main verb that comes next must go back to its original base form. That means no S on the end, no ED, nothing. That's it. That's the secret to this whole thing. But why? Why does this rule even exist? What's the logic? Well, it actually makes a lot of sense if you think about these little words as having a very specific job to do.
Just think of do, does, and did as the hard workers of the sentence. They're the ones doing all the heavy lifting. See, did is already carrying the past tense. Does is already carrying that third person S. They're doing the tense work, so the main verb can just chill out in its simple base form. Okay, so let's look at our first sentence again. She didn't liked. The word did is already screaming past tense. It's done its job. So liked doesn't need that ED anymore. It can just go back to its simple form, like. She didn't like the present. See how clean that is? Let's try another one. He doesn't organizes his desk. Again, our little helper verb, does, is already carrying that S for the third person. So the main verb, organizes, gets to drop its S and just be organize. He doesn't organize his desk. The helper does the work. And guess what? This same exact rule works for questions. It's perfect. So you start with a statement like, she lives here. Now to turn it into a question, you just pop does right at the beginning. But because does is now doing the work, yep, you guessed it, lives drops its S and becomes live. Does she live here? It's a really simple three-step dance.
Ooh, here's a classic mistake. So you see, did is already showing us this is a past tense question. That makes made, which is also past tense, totally unnecessary. It just needs to go back to its base form, make. When did the children make these? Once you get this logic, you'll start hearing this mistake everywhere.
All right, think of this table as your ultimate cheat sheet. Just scan down the columns. It doesn't matter if it's a negative sentence with don't, doesn't, or didn't, or a question starting with do, does, or did. Look at the main verb that comes after it, like understand, know, live, go, sleep. It's always in its simple base form, every single time. Okay, you're pretty much a pro at the main rule now, but there is one more little trap we need to watch out for, and this one involves a different group of helper verbs. So here's the deal. Words like can, will, should, must, these are also helper verbs. We call them modal verbs. And they're kind of like the senior managers. They're powerful enough to do their job all on their own. They do not need any help from do.
And this is exactly why you would never, ever say does she can drive. You've basically got two helper verbs trying to do the same job, and it just gets messy. Can is strong enough to make the question all by itself. You just move it to the front. Can she drive? Much cleaner. Now, just when you think you've got all the rules sorted, English loves to throw in a little curveball. Sometimes you'll actually see do or does pop up in a positive sentence where it seems like it doesn't belong. There's a really cool reason for this.
This is all about one thing, emphasis. So imagine someone says to you, you don't really want to go to that party, do you? You could answer, no, I do want to go. Putting that do in there is like highlighting or underlining the verb with your voice. It adds this emotional punch that says, you misunderstood me. This is how I really feel.
All right, that was a lot, but we've covered the main problem, the golden rule, and a couple of tricky spots. So let's just boil this all down to the absolute must-know points.
So if you remember anything, remember these three things. Number one, the golden rule is everything. After do, does, or did, use the base verb, always. Number two, these are your go-to tools for making negatives and questions with most verbs. And number three, keep do and modal verbs like can or will separate. They don't play on the same team. You master these 3 points and you've totally got this.
So there you have it, a common, kind of confusing grammar point, made simple. Now that you really know the rule, think about it. What's one sentence, maybe a question or a negative, that you've struggled with in the past. Try saying it out loud right now, the correct way. Go on. That's how you really make this stuff stick.